Who was John Macarthur's father? John Macarthur's father was John Fullerton Macarthur Sr. He was the grandson of Thomas Fraser Fullerton, the Grand Master of the Grand Masonic Lodge of Prince Edward Island, Canada. John Macarthur's father was John Fullerton Macarthur Sr. In The Voice of Calvary Legacy, John Macarthur stated that his father considered Roy Rogers and Dale Evans to be his close personal friends. John Macarthur's father's obituary, dated June 18, 2005, in the Eugene, Oregon newspaper, reiterated that, quote, Roy Rogers and Dale Evans were his close personal friends. We know that John Macarthur and his father were both named for Thomas Fullerton, the Grand Master of the Grand Masonic Lodge of Canada. Who were Roy Rogers and Dale Evans? While both professed to be Christians, they were actually both high-ranking Freemasons. Roy Rogers was born Leonard Franklin Sly. And as we can see from his headstone, he died a high-ranking Freemason of the 33rd degree. Here's Rogers, in his Masonic Shriner fez. Freemasonry for women is called the Order of the Eastern Star. And according to the Grand Chapter of the Order of the Eastern Star, in the state of New York, Dale Evans was a lifelong member. John Macarthur's father was named for his grandfather, Thomas Fullerton, the Grand Master of the Grand Masonic Lodge of Canada. And his close friends, Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, were also high-ranking Freemasons. At this time, the viewer should be reminded that the god of Freemasonry is Lucifer. As the 33rd degree Masonic kingpin, Albert Pike, stated, quote, Lucifer is God, and the Masonic religion needs to be maintained in the purity of the Luciferian doctrine. John Macarthur's father was also an operative within Henrietta Mears' inner circle. Henrietta Mears was from a very prominent banking family, and she taught, for 35 years, at the First Presbyterian Church of Hollywood. This is a picture of the Masonic Lodge, where the First Presbyterian Church of Hollywood was founded on December 20, 1903. Those initiated into Freemasonry are known as, quote, being free and accepted. Henrietta Mears considered those within her inner circle to be, quote, her acceptable anointed evangelists. In addition to John Fullerton Macarthur Sr., another of her acceptable anointed evangelists was Billy Graham. Here we see Henrietta Mears with Billy Graham. And here we see Roy Rogers and Dale Evans with Graham. The goal of the Masonic ecumenical movement is to create a one-world religion for the worship of Lucifer. With her acceptable and anointed evangelists, Henrietta Mears helped to establish the global and Masonic ecumenical movement. Toward that end, John Fullerton Macarthur Sr. founded Fuller Seminary. As stated in The Voice of Calvary Legacy, John Macarthur's father was the director of the Charles Fuller Evangelistic Foundation in 1942, which became Fuller Theological Seminary in 1947. John Macarthur's father, along with the Henrietta Mears Group, pioneered the global ecumenical movement. The goal of the global ecumenical movement is to form a one-world religion for the worship of Lucifer. Few Christians know that this movement began when the World Evangelical Alliance was formed in 1846, in a conference held at Freemasons' Hall at the United Grand Lodge of England, the mother of all Masonic lodges. As stated in God's Word, Masonic pastors are false and deceitful workers, who are Satan's ministers. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing, if his ministers also be transformed, as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works.